Hello and welcome, this is Rooflemonger, and we have another installation in our Let's Learn Marvel series, this time detailing projectiles and beams and the differences between the two. So honestly, some of the surface level stuff you may be aware of, but just to quickly state, a beam and a projectile are two very different things in this game, and we're going to kind of be going over the differences. So to quickly go over, what is a beam? A beam is a full screen projectile that effectively, for the most part, hits all points at once. It's not quite instant, but it is near instant, and it hits at all points along the length of the beam. So in Marvel's Capcom Infinite, unlike older games, the biggest delineation of a beam is now the closer you are, the more damage you'll do, and the further you are out, the less you will do. So here at the absolute max range, you do a mere 150 damage. That's less than a jab. And up close, we do over 1,000. That's a fairly decent damage for a projectile, or a beam as it were. So, and the further you go back, the further the damage will scale downwards. And this holds just as true for beam supers. So if we're up close here, we get 3,000 damage. If we do it as far away as possible, see here we got roughly half that. So this is true for beams across the game, with a rare exception that the closer you are, the more damage you'll do. The further you are away, the less damage you will do. Now a projectile, unlike the beam, obviously must travel the length of the screen. However, a projectile will always do the same amount of damage no matter how close you are or how far you are away, which is one of the advantages it has over the beam. So it can't quite control the screen as fast as the beam, but it can certainly control it, the damage you do at a very consistent rate, unlike a beam. So we'll do 1,000 damage from far away, we'll do 1,000 up close, no matter what, it's going to be 1,000 damage. Now, to speak on the weaknesses of a projectile versus a beam. So the projectile, as you can see here, obviously it's your move of choice for damage. But unlike a beam, we're going to set ourselves to guard and put on a push block. You see here, if a perfectly timed push block happens, we can reflect the projectile. So that is something you need to definitely watch out for. You cannot just throw these willy-nilly, because now there is a penalty for being a very obvious user of the standard projectile. And see here now, you can't reflect forever, it will run out in time, but that is one key thing to keep in mind, is that your projectiles can be reflected. So that holds true for most projectiles, and like a reality stone, stuff like that. There is several key examples which I'll be showing at the end of the video, but please keep that in mind. Now to quickly go back to beams, one note about beams versus projectiles is, generally speaking, beams always win. Beam almost always has the advantage on a given projectile, even if the projectile is high durability, like say Jetta's Pinwheel, where Jetta's Pinwheel can absorb many normal projectiles, but for the most part, beam will beat it cleanly. So if someone is spamming regular projectiles and you don't trust your timing for reflects or anything like that, keep in mind you can always go to your beam and beat them out.
Here's the big one.